What happens when a live television moment spirals into something no one expected? In this video, we plunge straight into a confrontational, razor-edged, emotionally loaded recreation of a live clash that detonated across the internet, captured in a fierce, cinematic, three-part scripted narrative. Tonight, the studio is not a studio. It's a battlefield disguised with LED lights and polished floors. The air hangs heavy, tasting like hot metal and nerves. Camera operators grip their rigs tighter than usual. The interns at the back stand frozen, like they accidentally wandered into a lion pit. Every sound feels amplified. The snap of a pen, the static hiss of headsets, the heartbeat of anticipation beneath the floor. At center stage, two chairs face each other with painful intimacy. Karoline Leavitt occupies one. Mick Jagger occupies the other. And between them is a silence sharp enough to cut through concrete. Karoline looks like a live wire wrapped in human skin. Tense, charged, ready to snap. Her posture is military straight, her fingers tapping the armrest with surgical precision. She doesn't hide her judgment. Every inch of her expression screams, "I came here to confront you." Mick, however, sits like a man on vacation, relaxed, almost amused. A man who has survived 5 decades of fame, riots, scandals, mythology, and still shows up with the charisma of someone who refuses to age. He glances at Karoline with the slow, confident interest of someone studying a firecracker and wondering exactly when it will explode. 10 seconds, the stage manager calls out. Karoline barely blinks. Mick grins. 5, 4. The host forces a smile that trembles at the edges. 3, 2. The room holds its breath. 1. The red light flashes alive on the camera. "Welcome back to Live Talk Today," the host declares with a tone pretending everything is normal. "We have a pair on our panel tonight that, well, let's just say sparks already flew online." Karoline's eyes flick toward Mick like knives. Mick offers a charming, unbothered half wave. The host pushes forward. "Karoline, earlier this week you posted a very direct critique of Mick's recent political commentary. Would you like to clarify your stance on air?" Karoline inhales, steeling herself. "For sure," she says, voice crisp. "Because it needs to be said clearly. Celebrities shouldn't assume their fame automatically qualifies them to lecture the world on politics, especially when their takes are shallow, misguided, and socially disconnected." Mick nods slowly, lips curving. "Well," he murmurs, "isn't that a spicy way to start a chat?" The audience chuckles lightly, awkwardly, not knowing where to stand. Karoline doesn't smile. She leans forward, eyes blazing. "Your latest statement wasn't insightful, Mick. It wasn't clever. It was laughable. And people are tired of entertainers pretending to be experts." The host shifts uncomfortably. Mick lifts one eyebrow, his voice smooth as satin but edged with razor blades. "Darling, you're acting like this is your first rodeo. I've been around long enough to know when someone's performing outrage." Karoline's nostrils flare. "I'm not performing, I'm responding." "And doing it loudly," Mick replies, amused. "Very loudly." Karoline cuts in sharply. "Someone has to when figures like you distort issues." Mick's smile widens. "Figures like me? You mean people with influence?" "No," Karoline fires back. "People who abuse it." A visible ripple of tension crosses the studio. A producer at the back mouths something like, "Oh God," but too late. Mick leans forward, elbows on his knees, voice lower now. Dangerous, intimate. "Honey, I've been accused of a lot in my life. Loudly, wildly, desperately. But never by someone who hasn't even had her name in the same headline twice." Karoline's jaw tightens so hard the muscle flickers. "And there it is," she whispers. "The ego, the entitlement, the idea that politics belongs only to big names like you." Mick laughs softly, a short, controlled laugh that holds more history than most people's entire careers. "Politics doesn't belong to anyone," he says, "but commentary, that belongs to whoever has something interesting to say." Karoline shoots back instantly. "Exactly. Interesting. Not ignorant." The host tries to intervene. "Let's maybe..." But the clash is rolling downhill now. Unstoppable. Karoline points subtly toward Mick. You drop flashy one-liners about issues you barely research. You leverage your legacy to shape narratives you don't even understand. Mick nods thoughtfully. Fascinating. And what narrative are you shaping right now? That I should stay silent because it offends you? Karoline laughs, cold, sharp. Not because it offends me, because it misleads millions. Mick's gaze sharpens for the first time. Millions have listened to me for 60 years, he says quietly. They can handle my opinion. They can handle yours too. But what they can't handle is people pretending outrage is the same as integrity. Karoline bristles. I'm not pretending anything. Mick tilts his head. Then why do you sound like you rehearsed this in the mirror? A small gasp erupts from someone off camera. Karoline freezes for half a second, a microsecond of vulnerability, before swallowing it whole. You think I rehearse? You think I need practice to call out hypocrisy when I see it? Oh no, Mick responds softly. I think you need the spotlight. This one just happens to be pointed at me. Karoline's voice slices through the air. Your music career doesn't give you political authority. Mick shrugs. And your commentary career doesn't give you personality, but here we are. Even the cameraman chokes on a laugh. Karoline's glare could set stone on fire. Say what you want, she snaps, but I speak for the people who don't get airtime, the people who are tired of elites like you pretending to understand their lives. Mick looks into her eyes, steady, fearless, unflinching. Sweetheart, he replies quietly. I came from nothing. I've worked every day since I was 15. I've fought the system, bent it, reshaped it, survived it. Don't confuse fame with privilege. I earned every scar on my back. Karoline opens her mouth, but Mick continues before she can fire back. And you? You sit here lecturing me about the people, when all you've done is try to shout your way above them. Her breath catches. Mick leans in. You talk about truth like you invented it. And then, with a slow smile that feels like a fuse burning into something explosive, he delivers the line that will ricochet across every social platform within minutes. You may be loud, darling, but volume isn't the same as wisdom, and if you come for me, you'd better bring something stronger than tweets and attitude. The studio reacts as if someone pulled the ceiling down. Karoline jerks forward. Don't patronize me. Mick doesn't flinch. Then stop acting like a child at the grown-up table. Karoline's eyes darken. Not with anger, but something deeper, something personal. You think I'm beneath you? She says quietly. Mick shakes his head. No, I think you're fighting the wrong enemy, and I think you're using me as a shortcut to relevance. Relevance, she spits. This isn't about relevance. Mick cuts in gently, almost softly, making the words sting. More. Everything on television is about relevance. Yours, mine, theirs. He points toward the audience. The difference is, I don't need this moment. Karoline's breath stutters for a split second, just enough for the cameras to catch. And you do, Mick adds. A stunned hush spreads across the studio. Karoline sits back, palms trembling imperceptibly. The camera zooms in. Too close, too revealing, capturing the flicker of conflict in her eyes. She speaks again, quieter but fiercer. You think you can shut me down with clever words, with ego, with your legend status? Mick's smirk fades. I don't need to shut you down, he says. You walked in shutting yourself down. Karoline stares at him, unable to form a comeback for the first time. The host, sensing the room cracking open, attempts to jump in. Maybe we should, but no one hears them. Karoline's voice comes like a tremor. You're wrong, and you know you're wrong. Mick lifts a shoulder in a careless shrug. Perhaps, but being wrong never scared me. That's why I'm still here. Karoline's jaw locks. She leans in again, voice a slow burning flame. And that attitude is exactly what makes you dangerous. Mick returns the stare. Calm, steady, powerful. And yours, he says, is what makes this moment unforgettable. For the first time all night, Karoline stops moving, stops blinking, stops breathing. The host, shaking, transitions to a commercial as the camera light clicks off. But the real explosion? It's just beginning. Behind the scenes, Mick rises effortlessly from his seat. Karoline stays frozen, breathing sharp, eyes wild, hand gripping the chair as if anchoring herself. Mick pauses beside her. "You've got fire," he murmurs, "but fire without aim burns the wrong things." Karoline lifts her chin, refusing to look up at him. "You don't get to define me." "I didn't," Mick says softly. "You did that yourself." And then he walks away, straight-backed, unfazed, leaving a storm behind him. Karoline watches him go, her heart thundering, her pride bruised, her fury simmering into something darker. Resolve. When the cameras come back on, she knows exactly what she's going to do next, and it will turn this clash into a full-blown war,